Time to talk sport now. Here's KG.
Thank you very much, Georgie. After the break, Australia's on top of South Africa at the Adelaide Oval, with Damien Martin hitting his first Test ton at home. And Fabian... South Africa may have taken the honours yesterday, but it was definitely Australia's day on the first Test at the Adelaide Oval. Resuming at 6-4, 272, the Aussies added another 167 runs, most of them going to Damien Martin, who scored his maiden Test ton in Australia. Australia's cause was also helped by poor South African fielding. At stumps on day 2, the tourists were 2 for 101 in reply.
A Protea posed to begin day 2, but it was Shane Warne who looked picture perfect, racking up 3 boundaries in one Wayward-Hayward over. A slip-up for the tourists.
Oh, dropped again.
But Klusner made no mistake.
Lance Klusner's got him, got Shane Warne.
Warne's 41 contributing to a valuable 84-run partnership. As the heat rose in the outer, it was all going swimmingly for Damien Martin, 72, his highest Test score on home soil. The question of whether he'd run out of partners was answered by Brett Lee.
That's what Lee's good at, hitting straight down the ground.
Martin almost fell into the well-laid trap set by Natini and Pollock.
Shouts
One over later, another chance flew by.
And he's dropped.
Lee continued the tourist torment.
I think that was a catch as well, went like a rocket.
The Aussies raced past 400, Martin bringing up his maiden Test century in Australia.
It's third in Test cricket, all made in 2001.
Even sweeter coming against the nation which almost ended his career before it began. After a 77-run stand, Lee went for 32. Gillespie and McGrath added only 8 runs between them. The Australian innings ended on 439, Martin unbeaten on 124. The Proteas' chase began dismally, McGrath dismissing Kirsten, before Ricky Ponting saved the best till last, plucking a bullet out of the air.
Magnificent catch.
Vicky Schwartz, National 9 News.
South Australian captain Darren Lehmann has finally broken the record for the most runs in domestic cricket. Buff passed the previous best of 10,643 runs set by former Redback skipper Jamie Siddons. But that was the only bright spot for South Australia, who are struggling to avoid defeat against Victoria.
Needing only 17 runs to become the greatest run scorer in Pura Cup history, Lehmann wrote his name into the record books on day 3 of the clash with Victoria. Passing Jamie Siddons' record of 10,643 runs, Lehmann had little time to celebrate, dismissed just 11 runs later.
Enjoy the challenges of making runs day in, day out, and it's a record that I'll be very proud of in a few years, I'm sure.
Records are the last thing on Fabian Francis's mind. The former power defender today fronted the media the day after salary cap restrictions at Fremantle threatened to prematurely end his AFL career.
We are still in totally just shock at the moment. It's news to us. I think the most important thing for me and my family is the fact that I still want to play AFL footy.
Whether he can will be decided within 48 hours. Fremantle have appealed an AFL ruling banning them from Tuesday's pre-season draft. If it succeeds, Francis will remain a docker. If not, he'll have to hope one of the 6 eligible clubs requires his services. Whatever the outcome, his management remain incensed that it's come to this.
We're asking ourselves the question that if this was Tony Lockett, a person of his profile, would have it been allowed to happen?
Ross Stargett, National 9 News.
And news just to hand, sadly Victoria has beaten South Australia outright by 9 wickets. Stuart O'Grady has been crowned King of the Road at the National Cycling Awards presented in Adelaide last night. The South Australian was named Australian Cyclist of the Year, following a spectacular year which included victory in the Tour Down Under and yellow jerseys in the Tour de France. O'Grady also won the award for Road Cyclist of the Year, while world number 1 Anna Millward was named Female Road Cyclist of the Year. Maxi yacht Brenda Bella bounced back from a collision on Sydney Harbour yesterday to line up in today's first race of the Big Boat Challenge. Choppy seas made for a dramatic start for the fleet. Brenda Bella showed few scars from yesterday's bingle that tore the mainsail and damaged deck fittings. And she took line honours in the first race before withdrawing from the second. Bumblebee 5 took advantage of Brenda Bella's absence in that one to win from Hollywood Boulevard. Spectacular stuff there. And Georgie, that's our day in sport. But join us again at 3:30 tomorrow for the continuation of the fascinating first Test match. It's beauty.
Never understood a test, Ken.
It'll be a
Not about to. Thanks, KG. So he's along after the break with his weather report. And then around the world in 5 years. But what a way to go.